You know what sucks about being the youngest sibling? Other than being the most charming and attractive one, obviously. It was the fact that when one of my siblings, specifically my sister, asked me to do something for them, I couldn't say no. Or maybe I could, but it would result in being nagged for an entire week until I did something to make it right. Which was how my sister, Calla, somehow got me to agree to come to a Phillies baseball game on my one day off a week. Sunday was the only day that I didn't have my head over a grill, chest drenched in sweat beneath an apron, being called chef, a loose term that my assistant called me. I was pretty sure it was only because he could never remember my name. It was my one day of freedom. Don't get me wrong, I loved my little food truck. The tiny green trailer from the 90s that I renovated 2 years ago, with stainless steel and PVC walls and a large concession area. Lights strung around the outside, and a fold-up picnic table conveniently placed a few feet away. Menus and graphics designed by Calla plastered all over the outside. She was a dream. When I drove all the way down to Tennessee to pay for the trailer in cash, my entire family swore I was going to make it 5 miles down the road before a wheel fell off, and I would be stranded in BFE. I took my old assistant, Jose, down with me, since none of the traitors I called siblings would go with me. Within 24 hours, I was back home with a beat-up trailer and an extremely inflated ego. To this day, I always called it my little green engine that could. Every time I figured it might be time to give up and attempt some normal cook job, she shined out time and time again. That being said, I still enjoyed a day off not having my hat hair soaking wet and my shoulders crammed in the small window, taking cash from strangers. It was usually a nice, relaxing Sunday. Usually. But being forced to watch some guys hit and chase balls on my one day off, while it was 1,000,000 degrees out and my sister was next to me shouting names and insults that would make our mother blush, was not my version of a vacation. "Hey, ref, you might want to check your voicemail. You've missed a few calls," Calla shouted beside me, her hands waving wildly in the air as I slipped further into my seat and tugged my baseball cap lower. My sister needed a hobby, one that wasn't competitive or involved in sports that had men in tight pants. Crocheting. She needed to learn to crochet. I was going to end up with a migraine by the end of this game if she didn't learn what her inside voice meant, which I had now told her 20 times to use. She shrugged one shoulder, her oversized white jersey flinging with it, and stuffed a fistful of popcorn in her mouth. I shook my head and stood up. "I'm going to get a hot dog. I can't take being next to you anymore."